A very good morning to my beloved lecturer. My name is ANANDHA MUTHUSAMY and metric number is BO91810031. Now I am going to talk about introduction. PLC are microprocess based in industrial controller utilized. PLC utilized to do entire logic work, time, sequence, arithmetic and number. The advantages of file mapping is increased I/O performance, particularly with large files. Smaller files might result in slack space being lost since memory mappings usually align with the size of page.
We knew about graph set for map system. Graph set is sequence functional chart for expressing the control flow and support the expression of both combination and sequence control logic. The sequence for this project is: first push button was pressed and cylinder A will extend, and next cylinder C will extend and then retract. Next cylinder A will retract for 3 seconds. Next step is cylinder B. Cylinder B is extend and retract for 2 seconds, and after that ejector D will extend and retract for 2 seconds. Last step, if use recascade, go to end, and if not, repeat at step 1.
For the wiring diagram, electrical, we have split into input and output. For the input, we have used 7 things, and for the output, we have used 4 things. First one for the input was start push button. Second, stop push button. Third, automatic and manual push selector. Fourth was sensor A0. Fifth was sensor A1. Sixth was sensor B1. Seventh was sensor C1. For the output, first was cylinder A. Second was cylinder B. Third was cylinder C. And the fourth was ejector D. For the graph set, step 0 transition was start the push button, and step 1 was cylinder A will extend. Transition 2 was A1 address was 0.04, then step 2 was cylinder C will extend. Transition 3 was C1 address was 0.06. Step 3 was cylinder C retract for 3 seconds. The transition 4 was timer T0001. Step 4 was cylinder A retract. Transition 5 was A0, address was 0.03. Step 5 was cylinder B extend. Transition 6 was B1, address was 0.05. The step 6 was cylinder B retract for 2 seconds. Transition 7 was timer 2, address was T0002, and the step 7 was ejector D extend for 3 seconds. Transition 8 was timer 3, address was T0003, and the step 8 was ejector D retracted for 2 seconds. And the transition 9 was timer 4, address was T0004. For the ladder diagram, in the ladder diagram, firstly we need to set on the push button, and the push button 1 will release, and then set on the sensor A1 to active after the cylinder fully extend, and then same goes to sensor C1 that set on the, and the sensor C1 will activate and cylinder C will extend, and then set on again to the sensor A1 to active the cylinder retraction to happen. If the sensor 1 active the cylinder B, it will extend. Lastly, the system will work repeat again after the pressing push button 1 again.
Next is discussion. After examining the result, given that programming is based on the design of the ladder, can inevitably misinterpret the flow of the ladder since the symbol in the ladder diagram represent the logic gates. Since the program are dependent on the ladder chart, students can inevitably misinterpret the flow of the ladder chart since the symbol used in the ladder chart indicate the logical gates. Despite this opportunity, we knowing the fundamental principle of logical gates may prevent this mistake.
In conclusion, the main objective of this project is achieved by enable to enhance knowledge on programmable logical control application. In addition, apply knowledge engineering fundamental in order to analyzing performance of hydraulic and pneumatic system. And lastly, graph set is used to describe the sequence of state of discrete event system with large number of states.